This video we are going to build a chatbot to handle the promotions for your podcast. So this particular chatbot will actually works on the Instagram DM and act as a lead generation machine and also promote your podcast over here. So let's see how this actually works. So before that, so this is one of the Instagram profile or one of the person who actually a podcaster as well. As you see here, they have nearly 100k followers and they actually receiving a considerable amount of comments as well. So the idea is to just put a call to action within the bio itself, asking customers to DM a specific kind of keyword to get your late access to the latest podcast or something like that. Here we actually collect the customers' emails as well, just so that you can actually follow up with them later at any time you want as well. So first of all, I have already created a script over here, chatbot flow script. We are going to build this on our platform over here. So this can actually works on whatever the channels you choose, Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, SMS, those kind of channels. But if you already have built an audience on Instagram or Facebook page, then you can actually leverage that audience to get more leads and also get more engagement in your podcast as well. So let's see how this actually works. So let's actually build this one over here. So let me go to the flows over here and create a new flow. So let me name a flow as this one and create a new flow over here. And here we actually start with this sort of message: hey, ready for the exclusive podcast updates, drop your email for behind the scenes access, go ahead, what's your email? So we actually start by asking the customer's email over here. So here we have in the flow over here. So if you want to ask customers some sort of details, you have to simply choose this get user data option over here. From there you can actually collect the customer's email or phone number or some sort of text field or even date fields as well. So in this case we want to collect their email, so the email is already selected and we can actually delete this skip button so that customers have to enter their email to go to the next step over here. So this is the first message. So once they have entered their email, we want to send this sort of message for them. So if you see, this particular email is actually saved in the system field called as email over here. So let's send us this sort of message for the customer over here. So we have to actually call the customer's real email over here, whatever the email they actually enter in the first step over here. So we have to type one curly bracket and start typing email. We should see that email is there. So here we can actually add a button yes, and another button we want to add is no. So here if they say yes, we can actually move to the next step. So let's go to the script over here and we send this sort of message. And here we are actually asking customers to choose whatever the podcast category or their interest as well. So here for the example you have actually 4 inputs as well. So using the particular feedback from your audience or customers, you can actually tailor the experience of your podcast based on that. So let's build that one as well. So we want to send this sort of message, and if you see, this is also a kind of input, but this is called as multiple choice input. So basically they can choose one of the choice from his this particular option. So it says just choose the category that resonate with you the most. So let's simply copy this one over here, and here I'm still going to use get user data. Here this will be a multiple choice over here, and you can actually save this in a new field, maybe called as podcast category they are actually interested in. Let me create a new field, podcast category over here, and here you can simply copy paste whatever the fields over here. So marketing mastery is here, and then it is a business, so I can simply choose as marketing over here. So let me redo that. So instead of marketing mastery, I'm going to simply go with marketing over here, and let me remove this as well. And here business, and I have to choose networking, and finally it's growth hacking. Enter. And you can even allow customers to type whatever the input they want, otherwise they can simply go with one of these options over here, and we can skip this skip button as well. So once they have provided all their details, we want to send this sort of message for them. So once they have provided whatever the details, we want to send this sort of message. Here we want to send them the specific podcast topic they have actually choose. So we have to use that particular variable over here, podcast category. And finally, what we are doing is that thanks, explore the past episodes, stay tuned for more, thrilled to have you on board. And that's the final message we actually sending to the customers over here. So let me build that one as well. So we can actually delay some 2 seconds, and here you can simply send this sort of message over here. And here you can actually add the links to your podcast. For example, Apple Podcast. Here you can simply create Apple Podcast, get your Apple Podcast link and simply paste it over there. So customers can simply visit by tapping on that link as well. So Google Podcast website, and let me choose a link, Google Podcast over here, and paste it. So if they wish to check your Apple Podcast, they can visit. If they want to choose Google Podcast, you can they can actually go as well. Likewise, you can actually add other links where you have actually have the podcast available. And here we are also sending them an email as well. So one of the important thing is that if you want to send emails to your customers using this particular email option over here, as you see here, sending emails. So as soon as you collect the emails over here, what you do is you have to set an action over here as email actions. Go to email and set email opt-in. Then only you can actually send emails. Otherwise, it's not possible to send emails over here. So it's a kind of consent. You actually saying our system that you actually got the consent from the customer to send emails. So let's send this email as well. So here the email subject would be this sort of subject. We can select, we can use the same pre-header as well, and here you can type whatever the content you want to have over here. So let me see what we have over here, and let me simply copy paste this one over here. And for the name, you can simply use the full name field over here. So it might get automatically from the Instagram if they have a full name listed on there, and it will send this sort of email for them. So if you want to link to a button, you can do that as well. So let me add a button over here as podcast, some of that, and link just this Apple over here, just for the example of how this can actually work over here. So that's how you can actually easily send the email as well. So let me click publish over here, and we have something wrong over here. So here we have to set the message. So I missed that. So let me go back and let me paste that message over here. So when we ask this sort of question, ask them to choose whatever the category they actually resonated, they can actually choose whatever the options over here and click publish. So now we have actually created this sort of flow, and if someone says no, we want to say some message as well. No worries. And here, please enter your email again. So it says when someone says their email is wrong or something like that, we simply say no worries, please enter your email again. And this particular, when they entered an email, it will be saved in the email field, and we will send, when the data is saved, we will actually set the opt-in and send again, asking them if the particular email is correct. If they confirm, then only they can actually move forward over here. So now we actually create this particular simple flow over here. Now we want to set the trigger keyword. So as I mentioned, if you have already built an audience on Instagram, you can simply add a trigger keyword within the bio itself. Otherwise, you can promote that particular trigger keyword through your latest Instagram post or reels. So whatever this particular chatbot we have just created, a chatbot flow we have just created, can be triggered even through Instagram comments, reels as well. So I'm going to show how to actually trigger this particular chatbot flow just using keyword or direct DM keyword. So for that, you have to go to these automated responses over here, and there you can actually set whatever the keyword you want to trigger. So when someone actually sent you this part of keyword, then I want to trigger this particular message. So here we are in the automated keywords, so let me add one. And keep in mind, this particular flow name is podcast promotion and engagement. So here we are in the automated responses. Someone says podcast, I want to send the flow which is podcast promotion and engagement, which is the flow we just created over here. So this is the flow we just created over here. So here when someone says podcast, I want to send this particular flow which is podcast and engagement, which is the flow just we created. So let me save this one as well and make sure this particular automated response is active. So if someone says podcast, then we will trigger this particular flow. So now let's test this, how this actually works. So let me test this through the Instagram DM over here, and let me send the keyword which is podcast and see what happens. And as you see here, it says, hey, ready for the exclusive podcast update, drop your email for behind the scenes access, go ahead, what's your email? So let me enter an email address over here. So once the email address is entered, it will simply ask whether this particular email is correct or not. So if they choose yes, then it will simply ask their preference of the podcast categories. So let's see how this actually works. Awesome. We are here to tailor our content to your interest. Just choose the category that resonates with you most. So let me choose marketing over here. And after that, it simply says, got it, something like that. Got it. We dive into marketing. Cool choice. Tag friends who'd enjoy our podcast too. Thanks. Explore the past episodes and stay tuned for more. Thrilled to have you on board. So here, if you tap on this Apple podcast, it will take you directly to the Apple podcast website where they can actually listen to this kind of podcast. Likewise, if I tap on this Google podcast button over here, it will take them directly to the Google podcast as well. And as you know, we also have set up an email as well. So let me open the email we have just received over here. So this is the email I have received. Unleash your creativity with our exclusive podcast, and here we have that sort of content in the email, and also a button over here which takes them directly to the podcast over here. So that's how this actually works. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. Thank you.